Hello, welcome to Hypnosis with Dr. Bill Stiles. And this is Dr. Stiles. I'm with Stacy Fote, who has been with me on every program. She's the master degreed educator who is developing a very, very strong interest in hypnosis and helping people by programming their minds. In fact, I announced last program that she's going to join me at the hypnotherapy clinic in Wexford. And that means she's going to be learning about hypnosis, and she'll be going to my school, which incidentally, I'll be starting pretty soon. Hello, Stacy.
Hello, Dr. Stiles. It's a pleasure to be here again.
Yeah, great having you here. I don't like to sit here and do this alone. Did you come up with things you wanted to talk about this time?
I most definitely did. As we mentioned last time, one of the things I'd like to cover, because it has become such an epidemic in the United States, is childhood obesity. And I understand that you actually do sessions with children to help them control their weight. And I was wondering, how do you go about hypnotizing children? Is it something that you have to handle differently than with adults? What's your age limit?
Good question. Yeah, I do handle it differently. One of the things I make sure is when I call it childhood obesity, I'm really thinking about children who are overweight. A lot of moms and dads, they just don't like the word obesity, but that's the way it's known across the country as, it's known as childhood obesity when they identify it and they say it's an epidemic. 12 years to 17 years old. And I do run group sessions or private sessions, whatever the folks want. And I will say this first of all. Go to my website, www.drbillstiles. That's Dr. Bill Stiles, spelled with an I and not with a Y, .com. And you're going to learn all about it. There's a lot of information there. But Stacy, childhood overweight or obesity, whatever you want to call it, erodes. It erodes a child's self-confidence, particularly as they get a little bit older. It reduces self-acceptance. It lowers self-esteem. It can eventually lead to diabetes, heart disease, destruction of bone joints, and early stroke even whenever they're adults, young adults, in fact. And there's also a 15% greater chance of cancer. In fact, on my website, you're going to see where I built the case for the fact that entire lives are ruined as a result of overweight children being allowed to stay overweight. And parents actually are helping that condition, not helping by curing, I mean helping it stay like that by feeding their children the sugars and the carbohydrates and the starches and the fats. They don't want to put up with telling the child they can't have that. This carries through life. In fact, the selection of a mate eventually sometimes can mean some kind of a major situation to them. They're not going to have the selectivity that they'd like to have. I don't know, maybe you've tried many programs for your children out there, our listeners. And let me just tell you this, is a friendly atmosphere in my clinic. They're treated just as individuals, and they don't have to, in my clinic, ever feel that there's anything wrong with them. In fact, I let the children know that they are themselves. The fat on their body is not them. You say, well, what do you mean by that? Here's what I mean. Fat is an accumulation of energy of food that has been eaten and it hasn't been burned up. They are their own personalities. They are their own intelligence. They are their own capability. They're just fine people. They just need to learn how to get their bodies to burn up the fat, make it vaporize, and make it go away. Actually, your child needs to be programmed then with knowledge of fat-burning foods. And Stacey, you know about those.
Yes.
They also need to know that burning up fat is a matter of getting the right foods in their body. Instead of burning sugar, they burn the fat that's in residence. while they exercise. Yeah, you had a question.
So they also go through a consultation before the actual session.
Oh, yes.
Just like the adults do.
Just like the adults. Absolutely right.
Is it geared towards the children? Is it something they're going to be able to understand, some of the younger ones?
Yeah, they do understand it because all of my counselors are people that have children, and they know exactly what to do.
As a parent, that was something that was kind of on my mind. Another question I have is the parent able to stay with them throughout the entire session?
Yeah. In fact, as a parent, you would, if you had a child that I know you don't, or any parent, is allowed to attend at absolutely no charge. And those parents are going to get a lot out of this too.
Wow.
If the parent's overweight, the parent can even go into the hypnotic state and get a lot out of this. And not only this, I'm very interested in this. My fee is reduced by 28% for children. Parents, no charge. Sit with the child. The fee for the child is 28% reduced from what I regularly would charge. Now, if the parent would need to lose weight, I would like them to fill out a form so that if they want me to, I will include them in the hypnosis so that the child feels that this is a mom and child or mom and dad and child or whatever. Sure.
Oh, that is wonderful.
Sure.
So they get a little bonus with that.
They do. And if it's a group, I have only 8 children in the group.
Okay.
No more than that. I think that's about enough because, a lot of people can be sort of intimidating. Also, the child will receive a recording of the session and be expected to listen for reinforcement. Now, that's going to take some discipline. I try to make the reinforcement tape a reasonable length because of the child's attention. It's not the same as an adult.
Okay.
Yeah. There's over 12,000 people in Pittsburgh that have succeeded with this program. Well, in the past 11 years, they keep bringing their children in. But I got to say this. For all of the children that are overweight, I am really, really surprised that I don't get that many calls. I wonder why that is. I think that basically it's because the adults don't want to admit that their child is overweight or obese.
Or that they're responsible for the way their children are.
Or that they're responsible. They don't want to face that.
They don't want to change their grocery shopping habits or the way they're preparing meals.
Exactly. So it's a real problem. Again, I keep asking people to go to my website. There's a lot on the website, and I don't want to just shorten this too much because it's very, very important. But you go to that website, and you're going to find a lot of information. By the way, there are people out there that advertise hypnosis in a free consultation. And I have to bring it up because it's happened again. And here's what this guy doesn't do. He does not hypnotize everybody every time he has them come in. He plays a recording, is what he does, of another hypnotist. I just want you, if you call another hypnotist, that's fine. There are a couple dozen in the Pittsburgh area, and they're all pretty good. But this one guy, you got to ask people, are you going to bring me in there and play a recording? That's not hypnotherapy. Well, I'd like to go to our production crew here, and I'd like to play a tape. This fella is, I'm going to be talking about this fella on this tape. Would you please play that tape? Hello, this is Master Hypnotist Dr. Bill Stiles, and I'm here to warn you about a guy that's out there calling himself a hypnotist, and what he does is advertise that you come in for a free consultation, and when you get in there, he pressure sells you into $2, $3, $4, $5. It's going to cost you about $400,000, $500,000 to get all the sessions he's trying to sell you. But look, you don't have to do that. All you need is one session when it's done right, and you need just a free follow-up tape. Here's what this guy does. He gets you in there, then he sits you down, and he plays a recording. He's not even in the room. He plays a recording from another hypnotist. That is not hypnotherapy. You want a free consultation? Go on my website, drbillstyles.com, drbillstyles.com, or call 724-940-2211. Okay, so you've been warned. Okay. Stacy, you had other comments for me.
Well, I'm not sure I understand. You're referring to his free consultations that aren't quite what he says they are, but you say to check out a free consultation by going to your website, and
okay.
I'm not clear on what that is. I didn't quite get to that link.
Okay. Here's what it is. He says, come in for a free consultation. It is free, but what it ends up being is a high-pressure selling job. He tries to get you to sign up for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I just got word from a lady who was in there, and she signed up for 8 sessions, paid $800 up front. When she went in for a second session, now he does the first one himself, but when she went in for the second session, he played those recordings. And he was going to do it for all the rest. And she got really angry. And I don't blame her, because he doesn't tell them that that's what he's going to do. And she left, and she came to see me. She lost her $800, but she finally got some good hypnotherapy. And here's the thing. When the hypnotherapy is done right, for instance, on weight loss, when you learn through my session to eat the right foods, to exercise properly, hydrate properly, and get your mind programmed, why would you need to go back again? You don't. When the mind is programmed properly, all you need is a reinforcement tape, and that reinforcement tape is going to give you hypnosis in the comfort of your own home. You don't have to waste gas going back and forth just to listen to some other hypnotist from somewhere in the country. For weight loss, stop smoking, many other issues, only one session is ever needed when the hypnosis is done properly. No need to keep going back. A good hypnotist will do it right and give you a personal recording of your own session. You don't have to go into a hypnotist's office for a free consultation. This is the 21st century. No need to waste time on gas money or to travel somewhere you don't know where you're going. Now, go on my website. First thing you need to do is click on the tour. You can have a tour of my facility. Next thing you can click on is frequently asked questions. Probably answer most of the questions you have. Then you click on the thing you're most interested in, whether it's weight loss or stop smoking or fears, phobias, anxieties, childhood obesity, explaining of hypnosis or testimonials. Boy, we need to talk about that. Audio-visual presentations. We need to talk about that too. Also, there's a section on About Us, and it talks about how the clinics run. And also there's a section, of course, on Contact Us. Also a section there talking about these radio programs. And very soon I'm going to put a couple of them on there. There's even going to be a radio program from Lynn Cullen on there. And, of course, there's this section here on Beware of the Hypnotist Scam. And it's talking about this free consultation thing. Okay?
Yes, thank you very much.
All right. I'm out of breath now.
Well, that answered some of that question. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Now, I know there's a lot of people out there, the listeners are thinking, well, I have this problem. I'll bet he's never heard of this. I bet he's never had to help somebody with this problem. You probably think that you are the only one out there that is suffering from this fear, this anxiety, this habit. I'll tell you what, if you go to that website, check out the testimonials, check out the audio and video presentations, and just start clicking on some of these people, and you're going to realize you're not alone. You're not the only one out there that has felt like they've tried to do everything they could to stop smoking or to lose weight or to get over that fear. A lot of these testimonials are going to sound familiar to you. You're going to see yourself in them. Listen to them. And you'll see that if you do come into the clinic, that you also can go ahead and get some help for some of the things that are controlling your life.
Hey, that was nice. That wasn't a prepared commercial, was it?
No. But I listened to some of these testimonials, and I am just shocked at what some people have had to overcome.
Well, okay. I'll tell you what. We'll go to a testimonial, and this is from a guy you know, John Cigna. When we come back, then, I'm going to tell you about all the testimonials that are there. They're audios and videos. So let's first of all hear from John.
You know, Burnett, I can't believe it. It's been 5 years since I saw Dr. Bill Stiles to stop smoking. It worked, but you got to know about hypnosis.
Oh, you know I do, Cigna. Listen, my wife Debbie saw Dr. Stiles over a year ago and has lost 40 pounds since then. In fact, she's down to her high school weight of 112, and she's kept that weight off for over a year.
Well, the folks know that if this didn't work, I wouldn't still be telling people about it.
Yeah, and like you and Debbie, John, I experienced Dr. Stiles' hypnosis personally. 6 months ago, he helped me get off of a 35-year nicotine habit.
Okay, we've told him everything. Now what do we tell him?
Well, it's pretty simple. If you need help with weight loss or to stop smoking or any number of other things, folks, just call now.
Burnett, believe it or not, there are people out there who have Dr. Stiles' number in their pocket or at home on the desk somewhere and haven't made the call. You got to make the call. 724-940-2211, 724-940-2211.
Okay, John, we always like to hear from you. That's one of the most famous voices in the Pittsburgh area. And he keeps going and going and going and going and going. Like that little rabbit, you know, that Energizer rabbit guy. I think John is really, really happy now because he gets on that bike, rides all weekend, and he doesn't run out of breath anymore. He used to. He used to walk 10 feet, go, but his doctor says his lungs are clear. His heart is good. His oxygen level in the blood is way up there. And we also heard from John Burnett, and I forgot that he was on that clip. And we'll have another one here coming up in just a moment. But I promised I would review what's on my website, and you can see that. But you have to go to the media page. I have a video on there of a guy that lost 50 pounds, and his wife lost 100. What's really good is you're able to see these people in their before and after pictures. And you're not going to see that in any other website of hypnosis in this area that I've seen. Maybe there are a few, but I haven't seen it, and I've tried to check them all. There's another video on there. You'll enjoy this. Marge lost 65 pounds. But she didn't come to see me until after her mom and her dad came to see me and quit smoking. And they were so excited that they said, this is going to work for you, Marge. And it did. Wait till you see her before and after picture. It's absolutely amazing. Now, there's also a video there of about 3 different people in a row. And they just keep saying, I lost this, I lost that. But you know, it isn't just people talking. You can see it. That's what I like about this. You click on it, and you can see exactly how these people did. And you know John Cigna you just heard about? You can see him on there too. There is a video of John Cigna on his motorcycle. And he runs up the hill on his motorcycle with, I don't know, I think he had on a full helmet or a half helmet. I don't remember. Anyways, he runs up there. I'll have to look at the video again. And he talks about how good he feels. And the reason I remember he had a helmet on because he takes it off and he says, now, if only Dr. Stiles could help me with helmet head. I don't wear a helmet, so I don't know what the problem with getting your hair messed up might be. Anyway, so he's on there. Oh, here is one you've got to see. It's Kim. I've mentioned her before. She lost 100 pounds. You've got to look at her before and after picture. I remember in her before picture, she was so tired, she was just leaning up against a car. I mean, it really looked sad. Lost 100 pounds. She's 5'3". You can imagine an extra 100 pounds on 5'3".
That's one of the ones that really caught my eye. I read that one, and it was like 100 pounds in 6 months. She had to have gone through a program that really was beneficial for her.
Yeah, she did. She was one of the ones that I think became a little obsessed with the super fat burning foods. A lot of people are going to think, oh, that's too much to lose all at once. No, it's not, because she was still under the supervision of her doctor. And I give everybody this tape. I think it's a miracle tape. I didn't create the foods, but I organized the tape. And a lot of the stuff I got biomechanically from Dr. Dean Ornish. And he's well known. Many hospitals use his program now. But I list the 28 foods that will burn fat from your body and pull bile out of your body. And incidentally, that's what Debbie Burnett, John Burnett's wife, used, my super fat burning foods, to get down to 112 pounds. Now, I have to mention this too, and we're going to hear this coming up in our next commercial. We're going to hear about this book that Debbie Burnett wrote. She was so excited over how well she did. She put together a book of recipes and meal plans all around what she called Dr. Stiles foods. They're not my foods or God's foods. God got it right, and that's what we ought to be eating. And we're going to come back to that in just a moment. But I very quickly want to tell you the rest of these videos, and then we'll hear about Debbie Burnett, and then we'll get back to some of the audios. Okay, so there's Kim, and then there's about 6 other people on a video you can click on that lost weight. I just can't get all of the people that lost weight on my program. So here's what I did. I went ahead and put on a presentation on losing weight. It's about 33 minutes long. You know, Stacy, I don't think anybody's going to go online and listen 33 minutes. At least I thought that. But some did. It's amazing. They click on. I have what's called a stat checker. And I can check and see how long people are online and what they were looking at and listening to. And so they did.
America's ready. They want to start losing weight.
I think so. Got to. Do you know more people are dying in America from overweight now than they are from the smoking of tobacco? It just happened this year. We're over the number on deaths related to tobacco. Again, it's an epidemic. But along with that, I do have another presentation for the smokers out there. It's 30 minutes long, too. And here's what you can expect. You can expect me to have on there some filthy-looking lungs full of cancer, but as soon as we get through that, then we have 6 people who talked about how they came in and how they stopped smoking and what it felt like. And finally, I've got a presentation on there of my tour. Take a video tour of the hypnotherapy clinic. I say it again. You don't have to go to a hypnotist's office and get a consultation. All you have to do is get a consultation right here on my website. And the website, well, it's www.drbillstiles.com. www.drbillstiles, spelled with an I and not a Y.com. So, okay, let's go hear about Debbie's book now.
Hi, this is John Signa. John Burnett's here. I'll tell you, the Burnett family is on a roll. First, his wife Debbie goes and loses all that weight. Then Burnett goes and he gets rid of the nicotine gum that he's been addicted to. They all went to Dr. Stiles. Now Debbie has a recipe book out.
That's right, John. Debbie took a few of Dr. Stiles' recipes and combined them with a bunch of her own and wrote a recipe book that was based on the meal planning that helped her lose all that weight. In fact, as I've said before, Deb now weighs what she weighed when we started dating in 1969. She's lost 40 pounds.
Okay, how do people get this book?
Well, it is the Dr. Stiles recommended superfoods plan, John, so they can get it when they see Dr. Stiles for his multiphasic weight reduction hypnosis program. And that program is phenomenal.
Find out more, folks. Call this number, 724-940-2211. Dr. William Stiles, Master Hypnotist, 724-940-2211.
And don't forget the website address is www.drbillstiles, Stiles, yes, that's an I, not a Y, .com. Stacy, tell everybody what audio tapes I have on that website?
Well, I am working my way through them. I've gotten most of them already listened to, but what they can go to is they can hear some of the audios on losing weight. They can stop procrastinating and quit smoking. There's an audio on multiple people sessions, how to quit smoking. Dr. Stiles also tells you all about the clinic. It's the All About Us audio. There's an audio on Dr. Stiles talking about childhood obesity. Dr. Stiles also answers questions frequently asked from different people that are interested in coming into the clinic. There's an audio where Dr. Stiles is talking about fears, anxieties, and panics. He also explains the process of hypnosis, and he discusses helping you lose weight. and it discusses helping you to stop smoking. And there's also a special one from Rob that thanks Dr. Stiles for helping him with his anxieties. That's a very emotional one. For those of you who might have some fears, panic disorders, that is something that could really help a lot of you.
And I'm going to add some recordings of radio shows on there, too. Well, we're going to go again to John and Debbie's success. I want you to hear this. I want to make sure I get it all in before the end of the show, which is coming up very shortly. So let's go hear John and Debbie.
Now, first of all, John Burnett says to his wife, Debbie, go to Dr. Bill Stiles, you'll lose the weight. She goes to Dr. Stiles, and she loses the weight. Now Burnett starts thinking, let me get off this nicotine gum. And he goes to Dr. Stiles.
Yeah, well, let me set you straight on one thing, John. I didn't tell Debbie to go to Dr. Stiles. She went on her own, and she lost an amazing amount of weight. And in fact, let me tell you this, she weighs exactly what she did when I started dating her in 1969. But after she lost all the weight and I saw how successful Dr. Stiles was, I decided I got to get off nicotine. I started smoking in 1972. I started dipping snuff. I quit all that years ago, but I still was addicted to the nicotine gum. Now, thanks to Dr. Stiles, I am nicotine-free, John, for the first time in 34 years.
Feel good?
Absolutely fantastic. Plus, I'm saving $50-$60 a week.
Here's the number. Call it. 724-940-2211. Dr. Bill Stiles, Master Hypnotist.
And if you want to come on the website, remember it's www.drbillstiles.com. Come on and learn about stopping smoking, weight control, handling your stress, sports improvement, even overcoming allergies, insomnia, stuttering, nail biting, general motivation to help your career, and pain control. Also fears, phobias, anxiety, and addictions. Learn how to be a better public speaker if you want, and learn more about gaining self-confidence. Okay, join us next time. This is Dr. Bill Stiles with Stacy Fote on Hypnosis with Dr. Stiles.